What the heck just happened? Trump and Elon at war the last 24 hours, and Elizabeth Warren, Trump's new best friend. What on earth is going on? That's what we're going to break down in today's video. And what I want to encourage you is to take the middle ground. Become stoic, be non-emotional. What we're experiencing is all planned out. Of course, in my opinion, what I'm focused on is God, family, protecting my ecosystem at all costs, and staying out of other men's business because I'm too busy working on mine. So I'm going to break down Elizabeth Warren and Trump agreeing for the first time. This is wild. What is going on? And Elon and Trump, he leaves the White House, has a black eye, and all of a sudden, boom, absolute chaos. Now, one thing I do want to say is this is embarrassing for America. It actually is embarrassing. And we need to focus on in God we trust. And that's why I take the middle ground, right? I'm not too far left. I'm not too far right. I'm right there in the middle. And on my channel, we believe in Jesus Christ. And we honor your decisions too. But what we don't do is we don't get caught up in other people's business. We stay focused. We work hard. We're disciplined. We're consistent, and we stay out of the noise. So let's dive right in. First of all, I want to say thank you with an attitude of gratitude for all of you guys and just all the kind words, even the negativity. I absolutely love it. And I absolutely love you guys. So that's how we grow together. I take the feedback and we continue to grow. Okay. I just feel very grateful today. So thank you. All right. So I posted this. I mean, I don't even know what to think about yesterday. So let me just speak from my heart, because, we have quite a few people in our community. I was getting thousands of messages, and people like, what do you think's going on? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know how to position this. Some people are saying this is a theater. Some people are saying this is real. Some people are saying that Elon is part of the CIA. Some people are saying, I mean, who knows? Who knows? And so what I've come to the conclusion over the past 5 years is that I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Trump's camp. I don't know what's going on with Elon. But what I do know, this is really important over all the information I'm about to share. What I do know is I do know what's going on in my house. I do know what I did from the minute I woke up to the minute I go to bed. I do know that I'm responsibly taking my income and protecting my ecosystem. What I do know is I'm focusing on my biohacking and my health. What I do know is I'm reading the Bible on a daily basis. What I do know is I honor God in everything I do. That's what I do know. And those are the things that I can control. I can't control what Trump does. I can't control what Elon does. But I also know that history leaves clues and it has patterns. This is nothing new under the sun. This could be some big old theater to confuse the living shit out of humanity, the left, maybe the right, who knows? But the only thing you can control is your thoughts, your actions, your behaviors, and most of all, here it is. This is what's changed our Warrior Academy, all the people in it, our emotional reactions. This is entertainment. Yes, it does affect us at a historical level, at a physical level, but it should never affect you here and here. That's why Jesus says, take the middle ground. That's why Miramata Musashi says, operate in the void, the emptiness, because from the emptiness, we get the calling, we get the discernment, we get to make those decisions. So I love you guys. We got this. This is the greatest time in human history. There's Jesus Christ has already saved us. Nobody's coming to save us. We're already saved. Take action, protect your household, and get your shit together. All right, let's dive in. So I posted this. I said, here we go. The easiest way to save money, and this is after Elon was just going ballistic, and I did my first post yesterday, and everybody's like, they're not battling. I'm like, just wait, just wait. And Trump started firing back. The easiest way to save money in our budget, billions and billions of dollars, is to terminate Elon's governmental subsidies and contracts. I was always surprised that Biden didn't do it. And then it just went on, and Elon was going on a tear. Trump is doing his thing. He was sitting at the White House talking to, I think, the gentleman from Germany, I believe. He's talking about, hey, we told him we put some makeup on his eye and da-da-da-da. And like, who gave him a black eye? What do you guys think? There's rumors that Scott Bessent, there was a physical altercation with him. That rumors, alleged. Okay, I have no proof of that, obviously. But what do you guys think happened? And then there's like, oh, he's part of a secret group and he got punched in the eye. It's like, honestly, does it affect our daily? And people think like, does that affect the actions and behaviors you do throughout the day? Now it's entertaining. It's definitely affecting our country, and it's definitely making us look really bad to other countries. Okay, so that's all happening. And then Elizabeth Warren and Trump agree for the first time. And I'm joking that they're friends, obviously, right? Elizabeth Warren is far left, Trump is far right, but they did agree for the first time. And I want to share with you how this affects your asset portfolio. Okay. And this is why I focus on deflationary assets that are opposite of the inflated US dollar. Pay attention.
I don't know if Donald Trump is watching us right now, but the president is posting about you right now, just on Truth Social. Donald Trump writes, quote, "I am very pleased to announce that after all these years, I agree with Senator Elizabeth Warren on something. The debt limit should be entirely scrapped to prevent an economic catastrophe."
Look at her.
He's
So
reposting you
excited.
here where you suggest
Look at her.
as much. This is less than 24 hours after Elon Musk said shame on Republicans who passed the reconciliation bill in the House. You're finding yourself within a 24-hour period agreeing with Donald Trump and Elon Musk. What's going on around here?
Well, look, I think on the debt ceiling, I've been on this for many, many years. The debt ceiling is just something that's been used as leverage in negotiations. The United States should never, never threaten to default on its debt. We should get rid of this debt ceiling altogether.
Boom. And they're going to get rid of the debt ceiling, or they're going to raise it, and they're going to print a shit load of money. They're already monetizing more debt. Nobody wants our bonds, guys. So they're printing fake money and buying bonds and selling to us. Look at the bottom of the risk pyramid. At the bottom, that's why I use insurance. Insurance is the foundation of the risk pyramid. If insurance collapses, the whole system collapses. Okay. They say bonds are tier one capital. Does it sound tier one means safest? Does tier one sound to you that they can print fake money, Fugazi, completely fake fiat, and buy our own debt to sell it to us as an asset? That's crazy, man. That's absolutely bonkers. Okay, so Scott Bessent says, the Treasury Secretary, we cannot allow American people to suffer the biggest tax hike in history next year. Get on the president's one big beautiful bill passed in one of our top priorities. Get it passed in our top priorities, and it's integral component of President Trump's bold economic agenda to drive long-term growth. The American people deserve to know how this bill will benefit them. Okay, so he has a juggernaut crew there. You got Scott Bessent, you got Howard Lutnick. Am I saying that correctly now? Someone give me feedback because people always post Howard Lutnick. You have JD Vance, who has $500,000 in crypto. You have RFK, who has all of his wealth, he says, in Bitcoin. You have David Sachs, AI, technology, Silicon Valley. I mean, if you can see through all the noise, do you realize how positioned you are? 5% of the supply is left in Bitcoin. That's it. 95% of the public doesn't have exposure to crypto. That's it. Yeah. 95% of the population does not have exposure to crypto. And there's only 5% of Bitcoin is left. It's the most scarce asset in the world. Now, do you see why I hold XRP in Bitcoin? Now, do you see why we created treasury for our company? Has everybody lost 19% of their purchasing power? We gained 600% on our XRP and 195% on our Bitcoin. We leveraged against our Bitcoin at 14%. We crushed the hurdle rate. It grew 50% as I bought a cash generating asset. So the cash generating asset's paying it off, and I'm making 36% on my loan. I borrowed at 14. I crushed the hurdle rate. It grew at 50% per year. That's what Bitcoin grows at on average. I made 36% on my money by borrowing. If I went to Wells Fargo Bank and got that money to buy the firm, if I borrowed at 14%, I would get nothing from that. When it's paid off, it's gone. When this is paid off, I have the LTV back and I can leverage it again to buy more cash generating assets. Richest man in Babylon. Okay. So during all this, just in President Trump's True Social files S1 form for their Bitcoin ETF. Okay, so let's bring you back on here and let's talk. Let's have some real talk here. So if you don't study Stoicism, I would study it. Marcus Aurelius, especially men and women too. I'm speaking to men's hearts. I'm a man. I coach a lot of men, and I study Stoicism at the deepest level. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Jesus Christ, Miyamoto Musashi. And Stoicism is something that a man needs, especially during these times. And I think all men should study Stoicism. Now, Stoicism isn't a man without emotions. It's a man who is deeply in control of his emotions and extends his emotions at the proper time to the proper people, to the proper things within his ecosystem. He has principles, he has morals, he has ethics, and he is not swayed by lust. He is not swayed by money. He is not swayed by fame. He is not swayed by applause. He is moved by principles, by morals, by ethics, by choosing virtue over pleasure, and by suffering in silence before it's necessary to suffer, by having a creed of God, family, protecting your ecosystem at all costs, and staying out of other men's business because he's too busy working on his. He's a warrior without a master. He's focused, he's dedicated, he's disciplined. He does the things he needs to do when nobody is watching because he knows the seeds produce the roots that produce the fruits. And what he does is he looks around and he looks to see before he does business with somebody or interacts with somebody, as he observes the fruits of that person. He methodically watches their actions, their behaviors, how they treat people, how they show up, what they do when they're away from their family. And that's how he makes his decisions on business, on ecosystems, how they act, how do they emotionally react? Are they constantly triggered? He has principles. For me, it's peace, freedom, and family structure. For business, for family, it's peace, freedom, and family structure. For business, it's integrity, honesty, uncompromising belief in God. And I have a principle model that I run all my decisions through. So to make a decision in business, I'll make a decision in finances, I run it through that model. If it's a no on any of them, it's a hard no. Boundaries. I don't put my family or myself in environments around people, places, things that put my ecosystem at risk. And what that does is it allows us to look at this as entertainment. It's embarrassing what's happening, man. And we had the president of the United States and one of the wealthiest mans in the world that they came together as a superpower. And now imagine being other countries. They're literally sitting back like this. Look at this, man. Look at this. It's not good for our country, guys. And I know you know that. I'm just preaching to the choir. So that's what it just kind of makes me chuckle a little bit. And I'm like, man, I'm just going to get more disciplined, more focused. And that's what we did over the last 5 years. And it works. It does. We became financially free, spiritually free, mentally free. And we became the richest men and women in the world because we don't need the stuff. When we get the stuff, it's not that big of a deal. What is a big deal is freedom. Freedom of choice, freedom of time, freedom to be with your family, freedom of reason, freedom to homeschool our kids. That's what it's all about. And you can get the stuff, that's no problem, but we don't ever buy stuff, liabilities, with our family's future. We don't leverage to buy things that take away from our family. We leverage to build wealth. And then with the wealth and assets, we buy the things that we desire and the things that we want. So I'll get off my soapbox. I just wanted to share that stuff because I got so many messages. And what I'm saying is just take the middle ground. See this as entertainment. Let them go through their process. Because what will always remain is God, Jesus Christ, and you. That will always remain. You're always connected to the vine. You're never disconnected from it. You just got to climb back up it, man. Heave up, heaven. Get back in that head, man. Get back in that mind. Take the middle ground. Take a deep breath. Touch some grass this weekend. So I love you guys. I appreciate you, as we always say. Oh, before we do that, resources. So I didn't go over my ecosystem day, but I don't feel like going over my ecosystem day. I feel like just saying I love you. I'll keep it at that. Warriors, rah! Let's get your shit together. Love you guys.